if you begin to see video, it's just a question that as she got home, that she was able to meet up to meeting that church heads were organizing, and that those people they like to see complete things. And she's a serious Christian, and we ask, why didn't you die? That is how American Christians are, and they are very serious. Not like how where they tie her tie, even close their eyes, and then still break person's head.
My hair is my head tie.
Yes, so long hair. Yeah. So thank you very much. So if you see it, you don't get worried. So let me introduce us. Let's start. More than wait. Let me introduce as I do introduction, then you will come up. So brethren, we want to introduce to us a sister of ours from Pokwe area here in Ogoni land, who is very much disturbed and worried about the rate at which HIV is invading Ogoni land and other lands in Africa. And she's at home here today to speak briefly with church heads in Ogoni after this. So I introduce you to us Sister
Gloria Kabari.
Kabari, thank you very much.
Theophilus Taweli.
Thank you. Gloria Kabari, Theophilus Taweli.
Thank you.
Take the stage. 10 minutes.
Yes, Bishop. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here.
You can stand and talk.
I can stand.
Oh,
okay. I'm very honored to be here in your midst this afternoon. I've been looking for this day for a very long time. I've been here for a long time. Maybe I've been to some of their churches. I'm joining home to talk about HIV. I'm a licensed evangelist in the US. I'm a trained clinical social worker. I work with the state of Connecticut Forensic Department, substance abuse and mental health. But on the side, part of my job is HIV, taking care of people living with mental illness, substance abuse, and etc. and HIV/AIDS. And HIV/AIDS has really become one of my passions, because I discovered that being at the US, that there was nothing being done here in terms of educating our people about HIV/AIDS. And I discovered there were people who were affected here, and nobody was talking about it. So I was the first woman that actually came home in the early 90s, besides 1994, it was the first time I came here to talk to our people about HIV/AIDS. And then nobody believed me. In fact, they chased me out. They said I came home with Western propaganda, that there was nothing like HIV. And I told them then, and I'm telling them now, that HIV is here, it's killing people, and it's not going anywhere until God, in His miraculous plan, erased HIV from this humanity. But as of now, nothing like that has happened, and our people are badly affected and infected. Especially in Ogoni here. Ogoni, the River State statistic is saying that Ogoni have one of the highest cases of HIV/AIDS. And if you go to the hospital in BORI, the evidence is there. There is nothing like propaganda, or their statistic is not correct. In fact, I have said the statistic is less represented, because a lot of people living with the virus are not duly counted for. So that statistic is less represented. It's more of a bigger problem that we are thinking it is. And people, they are not talking about it. And the church is my heart. I am the church. We are the church. So for a very long time, in fact, when I came home, I started to re-romance the bishop about this idea, that the church really needs to get involved with the HIV issue in Ogoni, because it is our calling, it is our mandate, it is our duty to talk about HIV/AIDS. Because I know a lot of pastors, a lot of people, they don't want to talk about HIV in the pulpit. But the HIV/AIDS belongs in the pulpit. Sex talk belongs in the pulpit. So, and I really want the pastors, because a lot of pastors here have died of this virus as well. And instead of them to use that as an opportunity to educate the people, to come out and say, you know what, I'm a pastor, but I am living with this virus as it is done in the US. They are blaming it on juju, or this one or that one, and they are missing a vital opportunity to educate people, you know, about this virus, that this virus is here to stay. It doesn't matter who you are. It's no respecter of person, from the lowest to the highest. That HIV is here and is killing our people. And I am challenging us, the church, to really rise up, because in US, the church, they are taking really proactive role in HIV advocacy and education. You know, I brought this thing here to show you, because these are events organized by churches in the US, and this is part of their promotional tools. When churches, they are doing HIV event, where sometimes they will organize HIV mass testing, they will organize HIV, you know, advocacy campaign to train people, to educate people, and they do all these different promotional stuff. I brought a lot of different promotional stuff to encourage people, or to let people know what they are doing. Because here the church needs to talk about HIV. In every churches, in fact, I've been to a lot of the churches when I came here, and I have counseled the pastors. I've suggested that all the churches need to have a committee set up that will really deal with HIV. Because pastors, believe me, my fellow ministers, a lot of people in your congregation are infected, but they are afraid to come and tell you. Since I came home, a lot of your people from your church, they've been seeking me out to talk to me. They said, I am living with HIV, but I cannot tell my pastor. You know, because the pastors, they are not talking about it. They are not encouraging them to come out and make the church conducive. You know, the church is supposed to be an emergency center. The church is supposed to be a place where people that are suffering come and they are protected. You know, they are loved and counseled on how to live their life, even whatever is left, even though they are facing death. The church is supposed to be a place of encouragement, you know, but that is not happening here, because we are preaching the gospel, including this gospel that Jesus wants us to preach. Because you and I know that HIV now is like leprosy in the days of Jesus Christ. And if Jesus was here today, Jesus would be seeking the people living with HIV out. We have about 1,000 children living with HIV in Ogoni. None of you know about them. In the hospital here, there are people in the hospital that are sick, dying of HIV. I've been visiting them. I've been cooking food for them. I've even paid some of their bill. It's not because I have a lot of money, but I know that I'm on a mission, and my mind is made up, and I am committed to this place because I was born and I was raised here, but I have not forgotten this place. So that is why I have been coming to say, let's work together, because together we can do a whole lot. Together we can do a whole lot. To really be a voice, a hand, and a feet for those who cannot stand up for themselves. Because that is our mandate, and that is what we are called to do. And if we fail as ministers of God to shout out the trumpet about HIV, then we have failed as ministers of reconciliation, ministers of healing, deliverance, and restoration in our duty. The people living with HIV needs us. And I am calling on Ogoni Council of Churches to come together and let's work together, because to be honest with you, I am tired. Because every time I come home, I'll be running around like crazy. So make sure people are getting the awareness, so make sure this is done, make sure that is done. You know, every year here I actually organize and sponsor World AIDS Day event in Ghana. But this year I decided not to, because the way the local government, they are acting, I really don't like it. Because they are playing politics with people's life. You know, so this year I consulted the bishop. In fact, I sent a letter. I said this year, inside I've prayed, I've fasted, and I felt led that God is saying that we should hold a candlelight memorial service in honor of people living with HIV and people who have died of the virus in Ogoni. So on Sunday, and in fact, I intended to hold it at the bishop church, but unfortunately, he's not going to be around. He even was so kind to say if I want to bring the event to where he's going to be on Sunday, but because of the logistics of the event, it's not going to be possible. Because we are encouraging people living with HIV to come to that event on Sunday. So women, men, and children living with HIV, they are going to be there at the Catholic Church here. So please, I'm inviting, because really you guys are supposed to be organizing this. I told the bishop, I said this is the event I really wanted the Council of Churches to organize. But this, since it is really short notice, so next year I believe by the grace of God, we can all work together and really organize this event to be a history-making event in Ogoni as it is done in other parts of the world. Because the church are the people taking care of people living with HIV. Even in US, the church are taking very proactive role. Because when this virus first started, the church, they really did not want to have anything to do with it. Because they were only seeing it as a moral issue. But we are not here to judge, my fellow ministers. We are not here to judge, but to reach out to those who are dying, those who are suffering. Some of them are dying without Christ. Some of them are dying and suffering without Christ. So they need us. They need us. Desperately, they need us. And we must rise up, or generation to come will not forgive us because we would have failed in our mandate as ministers of God. So I'm inviting all of you on Sunday at the Catholic Church to come. It's going to be just a 1 hour event because we are trying to really keep it short. Since this is the first time, you know, some of you are, I approach some of you are elected officials here. Everything they turn into politics, and I am tired. I'm not a politician. I'm on a mission, you know, sent by God to be a voice, you know, to be less privileged. So I don't know, but either way, we are still going ahead and doing this thing on Sunday. So it's just going to be 1 hour that we are just going to spend. And I've really been conversing for some gift donation because our target, our prayer was really to get some bag of beans and distribute these things to people living with HIV. Because for people living with HIV, nutrition is a big deal. Because the medication they are on is very strong. So they need good nutrition, and beans have protein that we think can help the body as they fight the HIV. So that is what we are doing on Sunday. So please, I would really like you, if you are the head of your church, send somebody from your church to be there on Sunday. If you can't come, just send somebody, because we can all do this together. I want us to do this together. This is not my thing. This is not my thing. But I have a burning within my heart that never leaves me, that burns deep to say, we should do this, and we can do this, because we can all do something. Always, we can all do something. I know there's no money, all these things going on, but I still believe that my God is alive, and He is on the throne. It doesn't matter. So I'm appealing to my fellow ministers, take your eyes off the circumstances and situation, take your eyes off what you see, and really fix your eyes on the author and the finisher of your faith. And that person is the person of Jesus Christ, and He's still on the throne today. And He's expecting us to be in partnership with Him to do what we can do, because He wants us to bring His kingdom here on earth. And we are here on earth to expand His kingdom. And part of that is reaching people living with HIV and really talking about HIV in your church, making room for people that are living with